Everybody, welcome back to Wicked Good Sports. I'm Brian Martin here to talk about a pretty sad affair, the Bruins losing in the playoffs. This is At the Buzzer with Chris Uminski. Chris, how you doing?
Well, I've been better.
Yeah, so let's not bury the lead. Obviously, the Boston Bruins lost to the New York Islanders 6-2 and lost 4-2 in the second round of the playoffs. Chris, what are your thoughts on the series?
Well, it started out great. Game one of the Islanders series is the best game the Bruins played the entire 2 rounds that they played. Possibly the best game they played all year.
Right.
David Pastrnak got his hat trick. They blew the Islanders out that game, but then after that, it did not look good. It felt like defensively we weren't all there. Tuukka Rask was. I have a lot to say about Tuukka Rask.
Okay.
He was not good for especially that last 2 games, games 5 and 6. He was just not good. And the Islanders goalie Varlamov was just on fire the entire series.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the refereeing, and that's a whole other thing.
What was the undoing of the Bruins in the second round?
The undoing of the Bruins is probably Islanders goaltending, which, like I said, was just on fire the entire series. The defensively, the back end did not look good. The bottom 2 lines, the third and fourth lines, we got nothing out of them. But the worst thing of all is possibly the coaching.
Okay.
Possibly a couple of very big decisions that Bruce Cassidy made, and it bit us in the butt. Namely, allowing Tuukka Rask to play games 5 and 6.
Okay. Expand on that. What was up with Tuukka Rask?
So, in the beginning of the series, he looked okay. But then after game 4, towards the end of game 4, something just didn't seem right with him. There were rumors going around that he might be hurt. And so we going into game 5. Tuukka's going to play. There's nothing definite that we know about him yet. He let in 4 goals in the first 2 periods.
Right.
Was letting in almost every single shot that was thrown at him, even though the Bruins got 33 shots to the Islanders 17.
Yeah, so that's not good when you're losing after that much of a disparity.
Yeah, there's no reason the Bruins should have lost that game. And Tuukka actually gets pulled after the second period, and he's replaced by Jeremy Swayman for the third period, who only lets in 1 goal, and that's fantastic. He's a rookie. We lost the game. So now we're all wondering, what's going on with Tuukka? He looks like he might be hurt. Game 6 rolls around, who's going to play? Is it going to be Swayman? Is it going to be Rask? Nope, it's Tuukka Rask. Cassidy decides to play Tuukka Rask. There are these rumors that he might be hurt. I don't think there was any reason to play him. He got blown out, came out within an hour of the game ending. Tuukka Rask comes out, oh yeah, I might need surgery.
So that's tough.
Which begs, why play if you're hurt?
Yeah, it's a fine line, and we see this in a lot of sports where, athletes, they want to push through, they want to give it their all, but it's a fine line between giving it all for your team and not being physically able to perform to the level that your team needs and actually hurting the team by trying to tough it out.
Yeah.
And so I think probably you'd agree that's kind of what happened here. Tuukka hurt them more than anything.
For game 6, the elimination game, absolutely. I think that was the cause of that loss.
Yeah. That's rough.
Bad.
I mean, was there anything good from the series that you could take away moving into next season, into the offseason?
David Pastrnak looked great. Brad Marchand looked great. And I guess, we got better as we looked okay in the beginning of the series.
Right.
That first line still continues to be the most dominant line in hockey. to a fault where I think we're kind of leaning too much on them now.
So that's that for this series. Where do the Bruins go from here?
Well, this offseason, it's going to be a busy one. The biggest two things that we're expecting to have happen is we want Taylor Hall to be retained. We need to hold on to him. It looks like he's probably going to stay. He blocked a trade to Vegas from Buffalo at the deadline, and forced his trade to Boston. So he will most likely take a pay cut to stay here, and we like that.
Oh yeah.
And the second thing is we're looking Tuukka Rask. We don't think is going to be a Bruin next year. Whether it's he's in a contract year, whether it's he signs with another team, or he retires. One or the other is definitely going to happen.
So if Tuukka leaves, do we put it all on the rookie? I mean, he'll be a second-year player next year, but what do you think?
I think so. Jeremy Swayman proved in the regular season and in his short playoff appearance that he has the potential. He's an NHL goalie.
Mm-hmm.
He's young enough where he can still be molded to be better, but even coming in, he's still, I wouldn't say an elite goalie, but he's very good.
Right.
I think he's ready for it. And Yaroslav Halak is probably going to be leaving as well. Either he's going to retire or go to another team. So yeah, the goaltending next year is going to look completely different. I think Vladar is going to get called up and be the backup for Swayman. And we're going to see that tandem is going to be gone of Rask and Halak.
Yeah. So I guess we've talked a little bit about who we think's going to leave, who we think's going to stay. Are there any free agents or any even possible trade targets that you'd like to see the Bruins go after this season or offseason?
If I'm being honest, I haven't looked around at who is going to be available.
Mm-hmm.
But what I would like to see is we need to beef up the defense. We need to beef up the third and fourth lines also. A big thing that's going to be happening is the expansion draft. We might lose a couple players there, and Seattle might end up with players that we could deal with that are unprotected.
Right.
Going into the expansion draft.
Yeah, that's a very interesting wrinkle into all this.
Yes.
Yeah. But hey, I'm excited, honestly, for the new team. I think the logo, we've talked about it, I think the logo is really cool. I think it'll be cool for Seattle to have a hockey team. But I guess this wouldn't be, a Boston sports talk show if we didn't bitch about the refs a little bit, right? What are your opinions? What are your opinions to close it out for us?
So this was a big point of contention for the Islanders series. NHL refs are the worst in sports. Right. There's no question about that. Worst in American sports, worst in Canadian sports. Bruce Cassidy, after Game 5, came out because there was some very bad officiating in Game 5. I counted at least 2 goals against the Bruins that were a direct result of bad officiating.
Right.
So Bruce Cassidy comes out after the game, and I don't have his statement right in front of me, but in the gist it was, the refs suck. The refs suck, and the NHL needs to do something about it. The NHL comes out. Now remember, our buddy Tom Wilson got a $5,000 fine not too long ago. They fined Bruce Cassidy $25,000, almost as much as I make in a year,
for just his comments.
For complaining about the refs. But then next night,
oh my God,
the NHL is like, "Oh, for Game 6, you're gonna have new refs." So they ended up caving in the end. Loved it. The officiating was definitely better in Game 6 than it had been the entire playoffs. No, the NHL needs to do something about its officiating. I'm not the only one who thinks it. It's not even just Bruins fans who think it. So this isn't just like, oh, the refs hate my team. They hate the Bruins. Everyone's biased against us. Boston sports. It isn't even just that. It's league-wide. The NHL needs to hold its refs accountable, and there has to be some kind of a system where you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, in no sport do you ever want it to come down to the refs. It's all about the players. It's all about the coaching. So yeah, I agree. You know, it needs to get figured out. We'll see if there's any, you know, sweeping changes in the offseason. I feel like it's always a weird thing with refs. Like, leagues never want to do anything, even when they're hurting the product that's being put out there. So we'll see if anything happens. Hopeful, but not counting on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It'd be nice.
It'd be nice. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It'd be a nice thing, a little treat. So is there anything else you want to touch on before we end this segment for the night?
I mean, I guess I am going to be rooting for the Tampa Bay Lightning for the rest of the playoffs. I think if Colorado got eliminated, so I think the Lightning are going to repeat they're going to keep the Stanley Cup there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. They're the least objectionable team I think left in the playoffs.
So I mean, this would be a pretty amazing time for Tampa Bay fans. The last year or so.
3 championships in 2 years.
Unreal. From a city that was never known for having successful, you know, teams. Like the Bucks won once. The Rays are always around, but they're never, you know, winning.
The Rays might be moving to Montreal.
Yeah, that says it all. So you know, good for them, and we'll see if the Lightning can repeat here. All right, Chris, where can they find you online?
So I am on Twitter, Chris_Uminski. I always tweet about hockey there. I'm always tweeting usually at the general manager.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally,
I like the shoot the pucks. I'll be scrolling and oh, not going well. Evidently, but yeah. So follow Chris on there. You can follow me on Twitter at @thefakeMar, that's BMARR. The channel's on Twitter at WGEverything. Instagram, Where You Get Everything. twitch.tv/Where You Get Everything, and TikTok, search Where You Get Everything. And yeah, until next time, thank you so much for watching.